Hey guys, I'm going to show you today how to actually monitor your temperatures and your computer readings on your computer using HWinfo. What you want to do is you go to www.hvinfo.com. Then you will see it has a 2-bit and a 64-bit and a DOS. What you want to do is download the portable version. I say download the portable version right here instead of the installer, because the installer is going to want to install the program permanently on your computer, and it's going to want to run it each time you restart your computer. And yes, you can turn this off, but it does cause a shitload of other issues depending on what programs you have running on your PC. Anyway, download the portable version, and then what you want to do is you want to go to Msi Afterburner's website. Is this website over here? You can just type into Google Msi Afterburner, but it should take you to the same site. What you then do is download Msi Afterburner official. Do not download the beta, download just the normal version. What you want to then do is install it and also install Revia Tuner with it. Anyway, this little guy, HVinfo, after you download that, you just unzip it and place it in a folder somewhere on your PC where you know where it is. Make a shortcut, for that, like I did over here. HVinfo. I chose a 64-bit because I'm running a 64-bit version of Windows 7. Anyway, your Revia tuner, after you install Msi Afterburner, you have to actually choose to have Revia tuner installed as well. This is what it looks like. You can actually change the size of the display part. This will display in game, by the way. You can actually change the size and positioning. You can also turn it on and off. You don't have to see it every bloody time in game, but it is handy to see, especially if you want to know, like, hey, why is my game running slowly? What's causing the lag? What's the issue? Blah blah blah. Maybe I have a CPU bottleneck, maybe I have a GPU bottleneck, maybe your CPU is overheating, maybe your GPU is overheating. Maybe your memory is overheating, for all you know. So it's handy to have this running. You can just minimize it, you can customize it and minimize it. Don't press exit. If you press exit, it completely closes it down. This will not hinder your performance, by the way. Alright, click minimize. Now, to actually see your temperatures and stuff running, you have to run HVinfo. Click yes. Now, I think it will say, if you're a new user. Mine is I customized mine. If you haven't done it with yours, just say sensors only. Don't choose the summary. It's just a crap load of stuff, and it's not important, not to you anyway. Okay, now you want to do is you press run. You can actually also go to settings and you can make it start up with Windows and stuff, but I don't suggest doing this. And automatic update, leave it off. You don't need to update anything once you have the program, really, unless it's incompatible with your version of Windows. Anyway, what you want to do is click run. La 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 la. It will detect all your settings and all that good stuff. Alright. Yours will not look the same as mine exactly because I customized mine. What I did was you go to this little gear over here, configure sensors, go to layout, and in layout you can actually choose what displays and what doesn't display. I'm not going to say restore original to show you all that stuff because otherwise I have to read through a crap load of stuff and get it, put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off. Anyway, you can also go to custom to customize it as well. System tray. I have mine displaying on my system tray, but only 2 of them. What you want to do is you click on what you want displayed and show in tray. I have my CPU's megahertz displaying, and it does change up and down because the PC is running on idle basically, and there is the temperature as well. I also have my GPU temperature, memory usage, and GPU usage and frame rates, which is basically it will stay at 0 until I launch a game. Anyway, what you want to do is go to OSD, click on whatever you want to be displayed in your OSD. frames per second or GPU usage and stuff. I like to see my GPU usage and my CPU usage and my GPU temperature and my CPU temperature in my display while I'm playing a game. So if there is a problem, if there is lag, I can just quickly look at it and see, oh, what the hell, why is the CPU that hot? Or wait a minute, the CPU and GPU are not being used. So that means there's another issue. It's the software of the game or something else is interfering. So it can help me figure out what the problem is. I also have my GPU's memory displaying, so I can see how much GPU memory I'm using. Like if you are using a 512 meg card or 1000 megabyte 1 gigabyte card or higher, you can actually see, but listen, my card, it doesn't have enough megabytes on it, it doesn't have enough memory on it, I need more, I need a better card, blah blah blah, whatever you need. Anyway, once you tune all this stuff, click OK. So like I said, mine is already customized. I can actually see my core clock at 4100 megahertz. The minimum is 1399.8. That will be when the PC thinks it's not being used and it just sits there on idle. No use is running this at full speed for no reason whatsoever. Minimum, maximum, current, and average. The current is what's happening right now, and minimum is the minimum, maximum is the maximum, average is the overall performance of the thing. Anyway, what you are interested in is your CPU usage and your CPU temperature. Motherboard temperature. The motherboard temperature does not need to display in the OSD in your game. It doesn't need to. You're barely gonna notice it changing temperature that much, but it's handy to see your CPU temperature and your CPU usage. Make it total CPU usage, not per core, unless you have a quad core or an 8-core processor and your game is lagging like hell and it shouldn't. Then you can actually tell it to display the other cores as well, and you can actually see in game, like, listen, but only one bloody core is used and I have an 8-core or a 4-core processor. What the hell is going on? Or you'll be able to see, but listen, my CPU is not running at 4.1 gigahertz, it's running like 1.4 or 1.8. What the hell is going on? Or you can see your GPU if it's overheating and stuff. By the way, if you have an NVIDIA GPU, your temperature will reach about 85 degrees Celsius. Then your GPU should start underclocking itself. Either that or it's gonna break. As far as I know, NVIDIA rates its GPU's hottest temperature at 85 degrees Celsius. It doesn't like to make them perform any hotter like this for a long duration because it'll break the cards apparently. The AMD cards can perform at 95 degrees Celsius and it will still be fine. But I mean, any hotter than this, your card's gonna break or it's gonna underclock itself to compensate for the heat. Your CPU will do the same, except your CPU's temperature should not go hotter than 70 degrees Celsius at 70. And to be honest, if it goes above 65 degrees Celsius, I would start to worry, because that basically means your CPU cooler that you have is not doing a great job. Unfortunately, if you do buy a new computer or a new CPU, you always get that bloody little stock cooler, which is basically useless. If your CPU is overheating, depending on what region of the world you're in, depending on your temperature, then you might need an aftermarket cooler. I have an aftermarket cooler on mine. As you can see here, my current is 43 degrees Celsius. I don't really, the hottest it has gotten with the new cooler I have is about 52.8 degrees Celsius. That was the hottest during the day, and it is quite hot during the day right now because it's summer. So yeah, anyway, like I said before, here you can monitor your temperatures, your current, your minimum, maximum, and average. If you want to reset this before you launch a game, because you don't want to look at all the sensors, even if you have all of them running, just click on this, reset minimum, max, average values, and timer. Reset that, voila, it will all reset to the current I have right now. So what will happen now is when I launch the game, I'll be able to see, listen, but my CPU's temperature jumped from 43 degrees Celsius to 63 degrees Celsius, or whatever. These things change every second. I think it's like half a second or something, or 200 milliseconds or something. That's how quickly they monitor. The monitoring intervals is for them. Yeah, anyway, you don't have to keep this open like this. You can minimize it. Don't exit. If you exit, you obviously close it. Keep it minimized. Launch a game. Then you can see your temperatures and your GPU and CPU usage, just to have a clear idea what's the problem. Because maybe when you're running a game, like for example Crisis 1, for example, my CPU and GPU are only being used 20%, 15%. That means the CPU and GPU are just sitting at bloody idle, and there's a problem in the software because it's an oldish game, and although still an awesome bloody game, but an old game, and the software is not really compatible with the new hardware, so there's an issue. So I can either try and fix it or leave it as is, as long as I know my hardware is not overheating or gonna fry or something. But anyway, guys, everybody have a good night and a great day wherever you're from, and enjoy. I'll later in the next video show you actually what it looks like in game, and show you how to tune Msi Afterburner to also record footage and show monitor and temperatures in game. Alright, have a good one. Bye.